This is a revocation for the express sovereign purpose of reconnecting yourself with your soul shards. I, in the ever-present moment of now, choose to form a multi-layered spiritual court of equity for the express sovereign purpose of reconnecting me with my soul shards who have been lost in time through the acts of others, disconnecting the social system of time from consciousness living on the surface earth. All beings who have erased, altered, destroyed or redefined our history of false intentions or perspective foreign to our race memory are hereby given notice. Your services are no longer required. From this point forward and backward, through all perspectives of time, I break all contracts and subsequent prediction-based contracts. You have violated me from the last moment of ever-present moments. You are hereby banned and banished from all of my realities in all dimensions, time streams, galaxies and universes, and void space in which I exchange energy. I bind all acts against this I Am presence to every spiritual court of equity I've ever created. I enact the universal requirement of your source time frequency. Without it, you have no experiences with me. You are not real. I do not exchange energy with beings who are not real. If there was any point of the time matrix, any form of consent was given, granted, or assumed by some hierarchical authority that this I Am presence isn't fully aware of, it's now revoked with sacred neutral prejudice. So complete and total disentanglement from the universal drama, galactic drama, or earth drama. I make this a definitive statement for a reason. We cannot live in a solid point of reality that has no source function for the I Am presence. The DNA technology was never meant to function in this manner. The process of gene engineering has created a paradox of self-incarnation and reincarnation that has created a separation of soul density that's not within the divine, co-creative power of the self in equal co-creation with Earth Mother's realms, who use other source time codes. With this knowledge, in the ever-present co-creative moment, I connect to the Akashic records of 20,000 light frequency worlds. I assemble all source time codes from all non-linear, concurrently running spiritual courts of equity. I expand my knowingness to recognize all residual images of other soul family members outside this frequency of time. And I now share with the all my call to all sources of sources. I call to my sacred space of internal healing. I call to the four elements of Earth Mother's realm: air, fire, earth and water. I call to the 7 directions to protect all sacred space of all unity consciousness and collective consciousness. I call forth all unified collective consciousness creations with the source-identified authentic signature frequency of the universal place of space-time. The collective consciousness creation came into existence. I call forth all ancestors of true source relations to hold sacred neutral space in this multi-dimensional spiritual court of equity. I call forth all observers using unentangled observer technology that manipulated 1, 2, or 3 degrees of separation. I connect all of you to all identified collective consciousness creations, so you may be observed by your 7 future generations. And I call to my sacred medicine spread The healer's tools have been laid out in ceremonial fashion. And we, the dreamers of the southern skies, call out to this moment of I am recognition of ancestors on the blue road of spirit, waiting for us to acknowledge their presence as an I am being in a different form of time. I choose this moment to engage my sacred heart space, to connect to the dreamers of the southern skies. I unify my dreaming presence with my I am presence. I make this the super technology of communion and union with all sentient kind, living and coexisting in Earth's dreaming mind. With this now action of no time in dream space, I call forth the ancient future now, 7 generations of incarnations of myself and soul family, so this I am may begin to tell the tale of ancestors past, present and future. I am a being of love, created through love and with love. I continue to create this space of knowingness so all beings may seek and find inner peace and solace through dreaming. I set out the dreamer's tools in my sacred dream space. I set out the shaman's healing bowl, the engraved ancient sequoia wood with pictographs of the turtles and the stars. I set out the shaman's rattle, so the rhythm of dream is felt in all layers of the self, and I set out the rites of passage victory feathers. I set out the last path of this future self, calling home now. I speak to the crystal and the mineral kingdoms these words of unity. The time is now and the power is you. In the moments of no time now, I go deep into my shaman's rattle, seeking the next words of life, so the two-legged perceive more of the dreaming world around them. And I shake the rattle to send away the mind whispers telling us it's not real. I go deeper and deeper into the world of dreams, finding my dreaming self from a long time ago. And I greet myself with this message to all ancestors. The time is now, and the I Am Presence is here to assist all of nature to find its remedy and resolve with all creatures, with all creature kind in the dream space of earth realms. You who is Mother Earth manifest, I call to you in dream time. I am self-presence. I ask you to aid me in my understanding of my star brothers and sisters who dream at different dream space, still linked to our dreaming space of spaces. Earth Mother, who's the galactic seed planet of ancient legends, before the recording of the universal Akashic records of sentient free will. I call to you to come out of ancient dream space to become one again with the will of your children, to heal the many worlds interacting with our I Am presences, embroiled in the resolution of universal karma. I assemble all master time codices from multiple non-linear spiritual courts of equity, and I place them in this master location, hierarchical order, to create a space of all time codes within the system. This space is my spiritual medium to all the other frames of sentient experience. This space of all time is where we become the mediums of time and begin the process of translation of emanations of the past, the future, calling ourselves home to the ancient present now. This ancient moment of present now is at hand, and I see my infinite choices and potentials now. I activate and actualize every single infinite points and potential, and manifest them directly in all time-space, so I may see every line of creation that leads to global dreamtime awakening for all species kind living and coexisting on Earth Mother's realms. Ancestors in all linear, non-linear, and concurrently running multi-dimensional spiritual courts of equity with all source time codes of all sentient, non-entangled observers as sacred neutral witness. I co-create my own value based in lifetime-to-lifetime experience with those who share my reality in sovereign neutral expression of do no harm to all sentient life, living and coexisting with this signature frequency of being. At this ever-present moment of moments, I say these sacred words to all of the universe. I drop my old robes and accept the universal citizenship as source concentrated incarnate. This being of the now makes manifest my signature frequency of being. I call to the galactic central sun of this galaxy and all of the galaxies I've existed in. I ask you to come into every single spiritual court of equity I've ever created, to act as a sovereign mutual auditor of time-space existence. I ask that the master collective consciousness of all galaxies to come into my sacred space of sovereign reality, to speak the universal truth to all ancestors present in the ever-present moment of now. This declaration carries my energy signature as my binding stamp, and is hereby signed with my most potent spiritual currency, and is set forth into the Ethernet as my free will choice to alter my reality as set forth above, beginning now and lasting into perpetuity. And so it is.